Comic book, movies, sci-fi, and action thrill. Reviewing new TV shows, we keep it real, real. Reminiscing the attitude era, wrestling at its peak. Nostalgia from the 80s and 90s, memories we seek. Pineapples for our rings, a unique touch. Geek culture in our blood, we love it so much. Geek Blue forever, we love it so much. Geek Blue, where we talk about it all, from superheroes to wrestlers. We stand tall, Ray and Kevin, the dynamic duo in sight. Geek Blue, shining bright, shining bright. Did you hear about Pluto? Let's messed up right. Geek Blue, taking you on a nostalgia flight. From movies to TV, we cover it all. Join us every week, we'll have a ball. Shuffle.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much, my friend. Not much. How are you doing today?
Doing good. I guess we can officially say that we are on the train to the road of Fantastic Four and the finale of the Year of Superman. The advertising campaign went crazy this week. We're going to talk all about the new reveals. But first, beginning of the month, let's jump into a show and tell. So many geeky things that we could pull off from the shelf. We've been collecting shit for years and now we're whipping it out. So it's time to showcase all the money that we wasted well. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It's Geek Club Show and Tell. I'll go first.
Yeah, why don't you go first?
I told you, I warned you that
Yes, you
when
did.
I went on eBay, I was going to buy a whole bunch of Superman.
That'll happen.
What we've been talking about. So, I got to take my background off. Give me 2 seconds because I cannot show these without doing this first. There you go. All right. First things first. The full set of The Death of Superman.
Oh, interesting.
Single issues, which I never owned. I also got the limited edition, or not. It's actually limited. There's a lot of these of the black. I think it's like a plastic poly bag with this issue actually in it.
If you don't mind me asking, how much were the single issues?
They're not that expensive, but if you get on eBay, I mean, I got a big load of comics, which you're gonna see.
Okay.
I think I paid $35 for everything with plus shipping.
Oh, that's not bad. The comic shop was doing individual issues of All Seasons, which I was really thinking about buying, and individual issues of All Star. I think All Star was like 65, and I think Seasons was like 50.
Right. Yeah. Those. Yeah. Yeah. This is a weird time because comic books were very popular, which means they had a lot of them. So it's kind of like baseball cards kind of had a lot of cards like right during the peak, where the popularity was kind of dwindled how much they were actually going to be cost. First appearance of the black suit Superman. I love this cover of Cyborg Superman. I have 1, 2, all premiere issues of the 4 Supermen in the die-cut covers.
Nice.
I got foils. I got the first appearance of Mullet Superman. Another one. I got the first appearance of Mullet Superman in the background. This is him looking in the Fortress of Solitude over what's going on in the world with all the other Supermen fighting over who's the real one.
Nice.
The first appearance of this is a glow-in-the-dark cover of Electric Superman.
Nice.
And then I talked about this when we talked about it last week. The News Time magazine came with it as well, and I did not know that it was a bonus that came with it. So all bagged and boarded. So that's awesome. Yeah, single issues. As I told you, it's a slippery slope once you get into it. But
It is.
Death of Superman is my favorite comic book. I figure if I'm gonna love that comic book so much, I probably should look into the single issues too. So
I was gonna say you could even
that's what I did.
buy some frames off Amazon, just frame them all, put them on the wall. Once
Yeah,
you have the wall to put them on.
at least a 7 or 8. Yeah. Let me
Sweet.
back on here. There we go. All right, there we go.
So what I have is the Batman 75th anniversary collection.
Nice.
It came with Dark Knight Returns by Miller,
Yep.
Snyder's awesome Court of Owls, and Loeb's
Yep.
Hush. Right there, put it together, makes it that simple.
Cool.
Hot take: Dark Knight Returns, not that great.
No,
I think
it's
I was-
not.
I
At the
think-
time.
I think, yeah, at the time it was very groundbreaking, but like I had read a lot of Batman before that, and like I was way more blown away by like Long Halloween and
Yeah.
and the Bane run, stuff like that, than I ever was when I was finally reading this, which is also a comic book that has become very debated due to the DCEU and the understanding of that comic book. But I think for the time it was definitely groundbreaking. But
Yeah, how many other Batman stories before that were actually long term?
Yeah, that was probably one of the first
Yeah.
graphic novels, so to speak.
Yeah.
That I would think of. Everything else was pretty much in canon at that point. And that was not a canon story, which people
Yep.
also confuse. So,
Yep.
Side note: DCEU was always Elseworlds.
Yes.
That's some good cappuccino. All right.
All right, let's do this. Mobland season
Oh,
1
geez.
finale. Great show.
Mhm.
Pierce Brosnan's amazing in this show. Tom Hardy. This is on Paramount. It's all episodes are on there now. If you have not watched it, I recommend it. Great UK mob story, led by Pierce Brosnan, Tom Hardy, Helen Mirren, and Patty Constantine, who is the king in the first season of
Mhm.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Who plays one of the brothers as well.
Viserys,
one of
yeah.
the sons. Yeah, he's awesome. Murderbot, episode 4 and 5. This is a pretty good show. 20-minute episodes, quick to get through Apple TV. Not going to talk much about it. It's just one of those shows you just got to watch. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Cool.
I saw you watch this, so I watched it as well.
Yes, I was
American-
fucking gripped from start to finish with this
Yes.
thing.
American Manhunt, Osama bin Laden. This is on Netflix. Came out a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
It was been on my list when you said you watched it. I definitely put it right on that night and
Mhm.
watched it as well. Talks everything from 9/11 right up to when they caught him. Like you mentioned to me off pod, it made me want to watch Zero Dark 30. I
Yep.
didn't get to that this week.
I did,
but,
I was mostly background, but that movie's
Yeah,
very
background.
good.
Very good.
We were talking about war movies. And is that even technically? It happens during a war, but it's
No.
not really what I think of when I think of a war movie.
No.
But still very
No.
good. Jason Clarke's
No.
excellent in it. Hopefully that guy's career comes back.
Today is D-Day.
Yep.
Speaking
sure
of war
is.
movies, probably one of the better war movies is Saving Private Ryan.
That's probably number one.
Yeah, it's got to be just
'Cause-
depicting.
Yeah.
Back when that came out, when people who were on the beach in Normandy, and how accurate that was, it made a lot of people like really get emotional about that at
Yep.
the time.
Mhm.
A lot of people that fought that war, so depicted very well. And Spielberg, amazing, of course, and Tom
As
Hanks
always.
made him. I mean, he was already a star, but at that
it
point, dramatic
pretty much
role was
Matt Damon also, who was on the
Yeah,
come
Matt
up. That
Damon.
was right after Good Will Hunting
Yep.
and Rounders, so he was on the come up. Of course, famously, Edward Norton passed on that role for Fight Club.
Wow.
For Fight Club,
Wow.
though, so
No,
I mean, honestly,
that made him a
probably
star.
decent choice.
Yeah. I watched something else. This was
Oh, boy.
on Netflix.
Oh Jesus!
No, sorry, YouTube.
Oh, gee.
9/11, the fifth plane.
Mm.
There's a conspiracy where Harvey Levin, who runs TMZ, he created this, put it on YouTube, about 40 minutes, and talked about there was a possibility of a fifth plane. When all the planes got grounded, they found one plane. There's a lot of shady shit happening on it. For example, when they got grounded, they were about to fly off. They said, "I'll come back to the terminal. Everything's been grounded. The World Trade Center's been hit." So they, at that point, they knew it was a terrorist attack. So United brought them back to the terminal. They lock up the plane. The captain leaves, locks up the plane, and there are people walking outside the plane. They see people running back and forth inside the plane. Not sure how the fuck they got in there because the plane was locked by the captain, the only person that had access to it. They go in later and they find out that the rug and the bottom panel of the plane on the inside had been lifted up. It was open, wide open when they went in to inspect it like hours later. And the captain's like, no, when we left here, there was no opening there. We left, we locked the door, we were gone. So the speculation is that somebody snuck in the plane from the bottom, and that could have been the speculation being another terrorist. Somebody could have snuck in the plane that way. Who knows? Or could have went in there to maybe change or hide weapons, hide the box cutters, whatever. And a plane next to it had box cutters stuck in the seat pocket, in one of the pockets in the plane. A lot of crazy shit happens. Like 30-minute little mini documentary. Pretty good. Opens a lot of things up. Questions, of course. Was there more to 9/11? Could there have been more? It was already horrific as it is. Could there have been another plane? It's a pretty good documentary.
I'll check it out.
So yeah, it's on YouTube. Tires. Watched all of it yesterday. 12 episodes. Fucking incredible. It reminds me of The Office. This season is a lot better. Brought in Thomas Hayden Church. Who else was in it? The Sandman. Brought in Vince Vaughn was in an episode. So bringing in some bigger names. I think they liked the first season a lot, so they came in for cameos. Plus, they're friends with Shane. So, Shane Gillis, star of this. I don't know who wrote it. I know the kid that's on the far right of the poster. He's funny as hell. He's kind of like a Michael Scott type of character.
Okay. Very
much like The Office, an R-rated version of The Office. This is on Netflix. Like you mentioned to me, I think off pod, Shane Gillis. He's not a lot of people's cup of tea. He's very, very lazy in his comedy, I guess you could say, stand-up and comedy in general. But the show works for him because he's just a lazy tire mechanic who doesn't really want to be there. So
yeah,
it shows
my roommate's actually watching it now, and I walked in during a scene. It might have been the first season though, where they're trying to branch out to different ethnic groups or something like that, and they were drawing on the whiteboard. That was fucking hilarious.
Yes, it's great.
Interested in the show. I'm not a huge Shane Gillis fan, but I'm definitely interested to check this show out at some point. Currently watching the Ryan Johnson show on Peacock though. So
Poker Face,
Poker Face has been very good. Cynthia Erivo plays 5 characters in the first episode of season 2.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard
it's pretty good.
Yep. We saw a movie. I saw this one after the one we're going to talk about in a minute, but I saw Ballerina. This is a spinoff to John Wick, so technically the 5th movie in the franchise. 4 out of 5. You have not seen it, so I'm not going to talk about it much, but it's pretty much what you'd expect it to be. It's Ana de Armas being the John Wick type of character, fighting her way for revenge, kind of, for something that happens in the past.
I think the 2-hour runtime versus the 3-hour runtime will help, because even though I love John Wick 4, by the last hour, it was just a lot of the John Wick movies are kind of like this. It's just so much guns that just becomes noise. Yep. So I think a nice 2-hour runtime, you said it's about 2 hours flat, is 2
perfect.
Hours. Yeah, perfect for this type of movie. I look forward to seeing it. I just didn't have time because it was 88 degrees when I got out of work yesterday, and I wasn't going to go to the theater.
The best part about it, 5 minutes of previews, because it wasn't on Thursday night. I saw it Wednesday night, which is technically the opening night for the LA premiere. So it may have been right at the same exact time as the LA premiere. So no, is also I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but there was a embargo right up until Wednesday night, right until the premiere. When we left Mission Impossible, right when we left Mission Impossible, before I decided to see Ballerina, I had checked the reviews really quickly because I only had 20 minutes to see if the movie was getting decent reviews. And it was 75-80% when we left. So all right, fuck it, I'll go. But yeah, it's about that. It's about 4 out of 5. Lots of action. Keanu's in it. What's his name from The Walking Dead?
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus is in it briefly. Trailer made it look like he was a big part of it. Spoiler, he's not. Maybe 5-10 minutes total. But yeah, good movie. 4 out of 5. Great movie. The whole entire franchise, I would say, is probably a 4.5 out of 5, and that's only because there's some clunkers in there. But Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, the final movie of this franchise, starting off with 30 minutes of previews.
How about that guy, huh? When that
How
fourth
about
preview
that
hit,
guy?
when that fourth review hit, oh Jesus Christ! And then he
The
left a
loudest
half
of
an hour
every-
into the fucking movie.
Yeah, wasn't their type of movie. Wasn't their type of movie at all. The guy was in the 60s, probably 70s, 80s. But yeah, great movie.
I enjoyed it.
I'm not even sure if it's the best of all of them, but it's definitely a
not.
great send off. Lots
For me, it
of
was like
connections
middle tier.
to the
Like it's better than the bad ones, but not as good as the great ones. Like it doesn't touch Fallout, for
No.
instance, which is
or the
still my favorite.
first
The
one.
third one is very good, and the first one were like the really good ones. And then you have like
Yeah,
this
but-
and the last one.
But it touches on all of them. It touches on all the best parts of the
Yep.
Mission Impossible franchise, bringing in some characters we haven't seen in 30
Since
years.
the first. Yep.
Yeah, since the first one, and touching on a lot of that. And is the Mission Impossible? Well, we're not going to give the spoiler away if it was impossible or possible or not, but definitely recommend this movie. 4.5
Yeah, it was
out of
good.
5 for me.
I give it a 4.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Definitely, I could see why Tom Cruise wanted people to see this in the theater. Very much a theater flick. And
that
yeah,
submarine
he's 60
scene must have been awesome in IMAX. But
the
for
submarine,
me, it kind of went a little
and
too long. But
very long.
still good.
Yeah, almost 3:45 when we actually left. 2:45. I mean, 2 hours 45 minutes. But yeah, very, very good. Yeah, it's just kind of like America's version of James Bond at this point. It's lasted 6. Was this 8 movies? No, what is this? Yeah, 8
This is the
movies.
eighth.
now, I
Yeah,
guess. Eighth
8.
movie. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of. I don't think it'll continue without Tom Cruise. I heard a interview clip with Glenn Powell asking if he would ever take the helm of Mission Impossible from Tom Cruise. And it's like the reason why those movies work so well is because Tom Cruise puts his body into those movies.
Right.
If I did that, my mother would kill me. Is that quote? So yeah, it's a great movie. Recommend seeing it. If you don't see it in the theater, watch it when it comes out digitally, probably
Definitely.
in a couple months. But yeah, very, very good. So we are officially within weeks of Superman.
Mhm.
And we have a big, big topic to talk about this week. Smallville.
Previously covered by yours truly, right here on the Geek Blurb.
Previously covered by Kevin, because you just watched it, a couple of years ago? Last couple of years.
Year and a half
You
ago, yeah.
watched all 10 seasons, which I got to applaud you for that, because it's not 10 seasons of today.
From
It's 10
mid-October,
seasons.
mid-October to I finished like Christmas Eve.
10 seasons of yesteryear.
218 episodes, baby. 1 hour long.
218 40-minute episodes. I don't know how you did it, but you did it. Great show.
I gained
Lots
a lot
of
weight.
villains of the week. But
Sitting on my
yeah,
ass.
Smallville debuted in 2001, ended in 2011. This is Clark Kent's story.
Mm.
So the 2 rules set from the very beginning was that Clark could not fly, and Clark would never, ever wear a cape in this show. It was all about him growing up, finding himself, finding his powers. And the first couple of seasons were kind of like him going into puberty as a superhero, finding these powers accidentally, a lot of them, one by one, from the heat vision to the super hearing to the super strength. They do tackle flying, but he never can really get the hang of it till the end.
Correct.
And then the very last scene, which we'll talk about in a minute, but starring Tom Welling, starring Kristen Kruk, I don't know her last name, Kruk,
I think so.
and Michael Rosenbaum as one of the best, if not the best, Lex Luthor.
That's my Lex. That is 1,000% my Lex.
Yep, and him. I mean, you talk him and Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman for me just because of the nostalgia, but yeah, he's probably number 2 for me for sure. And the guy from Lois and Clark, John Shea, I like him a lot. Probably number 3 for me. So individually, let's talk about him. Lana Lane. She is a childhood sweetheart of Clark Kent. And when in this version of the show, the meteor strike happens, ends up killing her parents, and then Clark lands, of course, in the field, which we all know the story of Superman. And she has this necklace in the first season around her neck that's a piece of the kryptonite that kills her parents. And lo and behold, when Clark and her start dating, this necklace is what brings on the pain to Clark.
I think that's a nice like throwback to how Goofy Christopher Reeves was not goofy, but like how he like when he sees Lana for the first time and he like basically like collapses, like he can't even like speak to her just because of the kryptonite, not because he's being a nerd.
Yeah.
But it's a nice throwback to the Reeves.
We got 2 new additions to this cast. Pete Ross, who was in, I'm not sure if he debuted in this show or the comic books first. Was he in? I
think he was in Birthright.
Right. I think that was before this,
which happened.
Yeah,
that book was written to coincide with this show.
Yes. So yeah, he was in that. But Chloe Sullivan was made for this show. Chloe was in throughout the whole entire series.
She was supposed to be Lois, but they ended up bringing Lois into the show eventually.
Yeah, playing her cousin. Yep. She was actually ended up being Lois's cousin, but Chloe was kind of the sidekick, and Pete was for the first few seasons until he left the show.
Yeah, he left after a second, I think.
Yeah, I liked Pete a lot. I think it was all about money at the time. I can't remember, but
yeah, I'm sure CW budgets back then were even worse than they are now.
Towards the end, Chloe became Watchtower, ended up watching over all the superhero shenanigans going on at the end when he was the Blur, which we'll get into in a minute. Dated Oliver Queen. John Glover, probably my favorite character besides Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lionel Luthor, the father of Lex. And you kind of got all the where Lex was beaten down through his childhood is because of him. He played the Riddler in the animated series of the Batman, Batman the animated series in the 90s. He created Bane in Batman and Robin.
Yes, he did.
So he had a DC Comics pedigree already before he was in the show. And Michael Rosenbaum as Lex Luthor, the relationship between him and Clark began right from the beginning. The reason why he's bald is the comet that brought Clark to Earth, the Kryptonite comet or the spaceship, ended up making his hair fall out. He was in a cornfield at the time, and his hair fell out, so he's bald ever since then. And at this point, he was not in high school. He was already grown up, working for his father. And he ends up, I can't remember exactly how it happens, but Lionel opens up something, LexCorp in Smallville. And Lex ends up going there a lot too. And then they always have interactions together, him and Lana, and Lex and Lana, Lex and Clark and all that. So, and coming in as Pa Kent and Ma Kent, Jonathan and Martha, Bo Duke himself, John Snyder.
Yep, Snyder.
And Annette O'Toole as Ma Kent. Annette O'Toole was in Superman 3. She played Lana Lang in that. So yeah, coming back full circle. In this show, we see a lot of things, a lot of Superman lore. One of the first season, I think it's second or third season, he gets a crystal, ends up sending him to the Arctic, and it creates the Fortress of Solitude. So he has his own little Fortress of Solitude in the show. In the fifth season, Lois comes a part of it. You already mentioned that with Erica Durance. She comes in, plays Lois, the cousin of Chloe. She works. I don't remember if she works at Daily Planet. I haven't seen the show in this part of episodes.
Yeah, she does. See, the funny thing about this show is like all of a sudden, like these kids are literally like in high school and they like graduate or whatever. They all work for the school paper, and then they get hired by the most famous paper on the planet. Like nothing. Like none of them go to college. They all just start working there for like no reason.
Yeah. This show is known for one thing, especially in the beginning. When he was in high school, it was the villain of the week. And a lot of them there weren't comic book accurate villains. They were just villains that were using powers that were created from the comic or from the Kryptonite. What did they used to call them? They had the Wall of Weird. That's what Chloe had to catalog them all.
Oh, yep.
And they had a lot of guest stars playing these villains. One season was Jensen Ackles. Right, so this is the reason why he was in Supernatural. I think Go and Miller, who created this show, did Supernatural. Correct?
They did, yeah. Yep.
Pretty sure, yeah. So he got cast. He was in a whole entire season, I think 3 or 4.
He was in season 3,
playing a villain.
He becomes a villain. He's Lana's boyfriend at first, and then becomes a villain.
First appearance of Lizzie Kaplan. I have some pictures here. First appearance of Lizzie Kaplan, Amy Adams, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who hadn't been in anything in a while, hasn't been in anything in a while still, did a cameo in this. Little Bow Wow at the time. Carrie Fisher, of course, Leia herself. Adam Brody, Evangeline Lilly, this is before Lost. Maggie Lawson, this is before Psych. Adrian Pilecki, who was the Wonder Woman pilot. I think you mentioned she was in something.
Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights. Yep. Jane Seymour, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Colby Smulders before she was in How I Met Your Mother, and Linda Carter, Wonder Woman herself. Aaron Ashmore, not his brother who was Iceman, but Aaron Ashmore played Jimmy Olsen. They had a weird story arc with that too, where he had a twin brother in the show as well. They brought in Supergirl. They brought in Martian Manhunter. They brought in a whole bunch of other Justice Society, Justice League characters. First we get the Justice Society, Hawkman, Dr. Fate, and Stargirl. Stargirl had her own series at one point.
Mm-hmm.
That cool. I like that cool poster of all the Justice League.
That is cool.
Yeah. They brought in Black Canary. They brought in Zatanna, who looks very much comic accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought in, for the very first time, a live-action Wonder Twins from the animated.
Yes, they did.
The animated show.
And did you mention Bart Allen?
Getting there.
Okay.
Gleek the Monkey had a quick cameo. If you ever seen Wonder Twins, he was on the cell phone of the girl. Superboy, Lex and Clark in the last season had a clone.
Mm-hmm.
That's him. We also got Blue Beetle and Booster Gold. And where are we? And they also had heroes and they had villains. Honorable mention, Mr. McSixaplex. They kind of had a character named after him. Didn't have any of the powers, but he is one of the villains of the week back in the first season. But they did bring in a lot of comic book villains. They brought in Bizarro. They brought in Pam Grier playing Amanda Waller.
Mm-hmm.
Metallo, played by Brian Austin Green from 90210. Ultraman, Clark playing Ultraman. Brainiac and Doomsday. Sam Witter played Doomsday. And the guy from Angel, I can't remember his name, or Buffy the Vampire Slayer played Brainiac.
Yep.
Darkseid. I do have pictures of Darkseid. And the very last season was all about Darkseid Omega coming to Earth, and it ended in the finale, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the last few seasons, Superman or Clark goes to Metropolis using his powers, and I don't remember if it was Lois or Chloe that gave him the name the Blur. And he ended up wearing this red jacket with a Superman symbol on it, because they can't put the tights on him. They can't put the cape on him. So This is what they had. And then in the last season, they give him the black suit, the black shirt, and they give him a trench coat. Because they can't give him a coat. The best thing is giving him a trench coat that can sway in the wind. Let's talk about some episodes. The pilot episode, we already mentioned it. Lana, Clark, you see their dynamic as Clark being in love with her since they were younger. You meet Chloe, you meet Pete, you meet his parents, you meet pretty much the whole cast of the show right in the beginning of this. And you also see some stuff happening. He ends up saving Lex on a bridge, and then that sets up a whole story throughout the whole entire series of him and Lex and their dynamic together. Great episode, the pilot. Episode 17 of the second season is where Christopher Reeves, we talked about this when we were talking with the documentary. Christopher Reeves shows up as Dr. Virgil Swan. He shows up again in the next season, episode 17 of third season. He shows up twice. Also notable for the first episode he was back, the John Williams theme returned.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time it had been played, I think, since the movies. And it was really cool to hear that. And I heard it played again at the end, which we'll get into. And the best episode, even on IMDb, the best episode is episode 100, 5th season, 12th episode, called The Reckoning. This is where I remember at the time, what are they going to do in the 100th episode? The speculation was, well, this has got to be where Jonathan dies. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that's part of what makes Superman is this he has to go through this grief. In order to survive that grief, he becomes Superman. So where is that going to happen? Well, spoiler, it happens in episode 100. And the way they did it was kind of a weird time travel fuckery type of thing, where Jor-El, who's an AI in the Fortress of Solitude.
It's kind of an asshole in this show.
Yeah, it's an asshole in the show for sure. But yeah, he sends Lana up to the Fortress of Solitude with him.
He's played by that guy that died
Terrence
hiking,
Stamp,
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Or-
Terrence Stamp. No,
Yeah.
he's still alive.
No,
Terrence Stamp.
okay. I'm thinking of someone else that was in the show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, he brings Lana up to the Fortress of Solitude, proposes to her. Lana ends up dying in a car crash. In order to reset that, Clark goes up to the Fortress of Solitude, asks Jor-El to save her, and he's like, "You can only do this once, one reset, and that's it." Well, he does. He saves her. Doesn't tell her that he's Superman or has superpowers. And the sacrifice was that Jonathan was the one that was going to end up being killed because of it. And sure enough, that's what happens at the end of this episode. And there's a big, huge, in the middle of the pictures, if you're on YouTube, there's Clark at his funeral with the snow. It's a very cool visual. I like that. And episode 11 of the 6th season, the Justice League debuts, all of them.
Yeah.
They all had their individual episodes prior to this. This is where they all come together and the big, huge explosion in the background. I remember this vividly. Justin Hartley is Oliver Queen. He debuted at the beginning of this season, I believe. Green Arrow. Alan Richardson. Alan Richardson as Aquaman, who this is the first time I ever saw him, and he looks dwarfed compared to Tom Welling. I don't know how tall Tom Welling is, but yeah. He's huge. He's built out like brick shit house because he's Superman. Of course, he has to be. Lee Thompson Young. He was in a Nickelodeon show. Jet Jackson, I believe it was called.
Yep.
I remember watching that.
Yeah, that's him. R.I.P.
He played Cyborg. And Bart Allen, who you mentioned before.
Yep.
Played
by fucking Gallagher, who looks like the same he does now. Like he literally has not aged in 20 years.
Yeah, and he was in what movie was he just recently in?
He was in Scream. He was in no, he was the good guy in that it was like one of my favorite movies of the last year. God damn, I'm blanking on it. But that movie was awesome. But yeah, he literally hasn't aged in 20 years. And he was also in Smile too.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. 10th episode was great. This is a number 2 on IMDb. 200th episode. 4th episode of the 10th season. And it was all about Brainiac. I reprogrammed Brainiac coming back into the past to send Clark to the future to see where his life is going to be in the future, 7 years in the future. And you see all these glimpses of like the Daily Planet article that's in the newspaper right there. Superman saves the day. You see a blur. You see Clark Kent with the glasses. A lot of nods to what he's going to be without actually saying it. And seeing his superhero future, what's going to happen. And he ends up meeting himself all dressed up in the Clark garb with the glasses and the hair slicked back. And he's like, "Why the fuck are you doing that?" But it gives him a reason to keep continuing what he's doing, and this is your legacy. This is what you're going to become. And then we get into the finale, number 3 on IMDb. This is the fallout of everything going on with Darkseid at the time, and they do something in this show that they've done in every show. Clark and Lois get married. It's the trope of the whole entire thing. They get married. Lex Luthor comes back. Michael Rosenbaum had left the show. I don't remember what season it was, 7th or 6th.
I believe it was after the 7th.
Yeah,
or it might have been after the 8th. I think it might have been after the 8th because he left for like the last 2 seasons and there was 10. So it was either after the 7th or the 8th.
Yeah, and this was announced, so everybody knew he was coming back. This wasn't a secret. I think they announced it like a couple months before. But yeah, he came back with a bald cap, which you can kind of tell when you watch this episode. But and this is the very first and last episode. This is the first episode you see him wearing the suit. At the end, he gets it, saves the day, gets Darkseid, knocks him off the planet as he's attacking, and he puts on the suit, flies up into space. I love this scene of him flying right in front of the sun and the cape swaying in the sun right over Earth. I like that. It's really cool. But the very last scene you see of him 7 years later is at the same scene you saw from the 200th episode, but this time it's Clark. And he goes up and he hears something going on in the distance, and he goes up to the top of the Daily Planet and rips his shirt open, and you see Tom Welling for the very first time wearing the Superman outfit as he's flying off to save the day. And it's a great finale, and in this scene also is the Superman theme song from the movies done by John Williams. Great touch, perfect.
One thing I want to talk about is the fact that in this show, the season took place in 2010 or 11, and they predicted that in 2018, Lex Luthor would win the presidency of the United States.
Yes.
And who got elected in 2018? Donald J. Trump.
Yep. The original idea for this, Superman, the very last scene was going to be officially wearing the suit, flying off, showing him flying. They didn't do that. It was all CGI. All the flying scenes were all CGI. Goes and Miller, who created the show, left at the end of the 7th season. So you were right, because it was them, it was Lex, it was Lana. I think Lionel left. There's a whole bunch of people left at the end of that season, and then the next season they regrouped everything. They brought in Supergirl. They brought in Lois as a full-time cast member. Oliver Queen was a full-time cast member at that time, and Chloe was still there. I think she left towards the end.
She left like season 9
part-time
or something like that, and then came back.
Yeah, she was like part-time, but very, very cool show. There's a lot of Superman Mythos cameos too from the past. You had Margot Kidder coming in, Mark McClure, who played Jimmy Olsen in the movies. Terrence Stamp did the voice of Jor-El. Helen Slater, who played Supergirl, was in this. Terry Hatcher, Dean Cain from Lois and Clark. Terry Hatcher played the mother of Lois, Lois and her sister. Dean Cain played like a creepy villain doctor in one of the first seasons. But great show, Smallville. If you have the ambition to watch all 10 seasons, go for it.
You really got to lock in. I will say this, while we're still talking about Superman, I'm not going to give a full review because I'm only about 70 pages into the new Superman prequel book. But I do want to let you know that it is literally the start of him at the Daily Planet. Basically, his job interview with Perry White, same exact one as we saw in Lois and Clark. It reminded me of that. Lex creates Metello to try to stop Superman after Superman stops one of his diabolical plans. And it's been good. It's a fucking TY14 or whatever book they call them, like a teenage book. But it's a really quick 200 pages. Audiobook comes out June 24th. If you want to get that, it's like $8. It's like $8 for the audiobook. So nice.
A lot of Superman talk. We'll get into that in a minute. A lot of Fantastic Four talk. With that being said, let's get into the news. Last week, where we left off, CCXP was happening in Mexico. We got a debut trailer for Dexter Resurrection. Lots of cool new clips from it. Got a new poster. He's alive and killing it. Dexter in New York. Kind of get the story of him. He's kind of escaped, is what the story is, after being revived. And we see a scene with him and Batista. Kind of asking him, "Are you the Bay Harbor Butcher?" Looks great.
I can't wait.
And officially, there's a behind-the-scenes look of them filming. And I cannot wait because it was announced that Eric King, who played Dokes in the original, is coming back as a kind of like when Dexter's coming out of his coma. He's going to be meeting 3 people: him, the Trinity Killer, and who was the third? Was it his father?
His father, I believe.
Yeah,
I believe it's his father, but I think his father's going to stick with him throughout the season, I think.
But those are the 3 people he's going to meet, kind of like the ghosts of Dexter's past. So it'll be pretty cool. And they did announce that he's coming back. So surprise, motherfucker.
And this dude looks the same as he did back then, which is crazy. He does not age at all.
Yeah. Oh, Jimmy Smits. No, Miguel. That's who it was. That's
Miguel Prado. That's right. Yep.
He's the third guy.
Yeah, I can't wait for this father's season. I mean, it's such a different concept for Dexter. And I really wonder if he's going to turn on the other serial killers. Like, what's going to happen there? I don't know. But they also planned it to possibly go multiple seasons. So maybe this is just the next chapter in Dexter's life. And this is what happens going forward.
Yep, they've already mentioned they're planning on multiple seasons. So this could go. Yeah, we're not sure where this is going to go. But yeah. Got a brand new trailer for Gen V. Looks great. The Boys is ending, I think, next year. So this is kind of the beginning of that. So it looked really, really good. I like the first season of that.
Me too.
Got a brand new Mexican poster for the Fantastic Four. They talked a little bit about it too. This is also where Joseph Quinn revealed that the Mole Man is officially going to be appearing in it. Always been rumored of that. So, and the rumor is that Paul Walter Hauser is going to be playing him. So
makes sense.
And the final night of CCXP was the panel with James Gunn and John Cena, who came out in full luchador mask as Juan Cena. And James Gunn mentioned a couple of things. The first thing that went viral was one of his major influences for Superman was Godzilla -1. which we both are very, very high on. 5 out of 5, I think we gave it.
Yeah, that movie's fantastic.
But yeah, it's kind of where he got a lot of the ideas for this movie, which we kind of get from the kaiju and everything else, and just the scope of it. I also got a new trailer, behind-the-scenes trailer for Peacemaker, with some new pictures of Peacemaker there, and also Peacemaker meeting Rick Flag Sr. for the very first time, which I cannot wait to see. It also showed multiple dead characters from season 1 returning. Peacemaker's Pocket Universe is how they arrive. And Rick Flag Sr., they were hyping up the big fight that he's going to have with Peacemaker, so I cannot wait. And then Saturday night, not to be outdone, Netflix had their ta-dum, which was the stupidest fucking thing ever, because that noise is annoying to begin with, and having a conference. This is kind of like when DC had their Fandom a couple years ago during the pandemic. This is very, very much on that realm where they had a big, huge, I think it's United Center in LA, and they had a whole bunch of stars come out for all of their new trailers for all of their projects in the next 6 months or so.
Yep.
And mentioning all their most popular shows, starting with Squid Game season 3 coming out the end of the month. Got some new character posters for them as well. And I cannot wait to see that. I'm glad I caught up on it during Christmas. It comes out June 27th, so that'd be good. Got a brand new full trailer for Wake Up Dead Man.
Yep.
Looks great.
Yep. I hope this goes to theaters. I really hope this goes to theaters.
Yeah, me too.
Because that was so much fun seeing obviously the first one I saw in theaters, and the second one we didn't know, and it was in theaters for like 10 days, and I went with my cousin, and those type of movies are just, they're meant to be seen with people, like people talking about it, like during, like it's a fun experience to go to a movie like that with people.
Yep. The cast is crazy. Josh O'Connell, Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Kerry Washington, Andrew Scott, Kaylee Spaney, who was in Alien, the new Alien, right? She was great in that. Daryl McCormick and Thomas Hayden Church. So yeah, great cast, and of course Daniel Craig coming back as Benoit Blanc. So, got a brand new look at R.I.P. This is a Ben Affleck, Matt Damon movie when they're coming back together for the first time, I think 20 years.
No, they did Air.
Oh, that's right, they did Air together, right?
But before that, before Air, it was 20 years. Yeah, so you're pretty much right.
But it follows a bunch of two Miami cops. They find a drug ring going on, or a cash ring going on. Some weird money shit's going on in the stash house. Looked really good. They showed a little quick glimpse trailer, and this thing is really, really cool looking. And they're dressed as police officers.
Yep.
The best trailer of the night, as far as movies are concerned, is this fucking Frankenstein movie. Holy shit! Oscar Isaac playing Dr. Frankenstein. Jacob Elordi from Euphoria playing the monster. Maya Goth, some great news about her today. We'll talk about at the end. And Christoph Waltz, who I fucking love too.
I actually did not watch this trailer because I don't watch trailers of movies I'm really anticipating. So that's why.
Yeah.
Actually, it's funny. Sinners came out this week, and I was told not to watch the second trailer. Finally went back and watched the second trailer before I watched Sinners, and I was like, thank God I did not watch that second trailer, because I would have known way too much. So I stay away from trailers for movies I really am anticipating. For the most part, Superman's a different story.
My second favorite trailer, Happy Gilmore 2. MJF is playing his son. I can't remember his name in Shameless. He plays his other son. He's standing next to MJF. Who's the kid who's always having sex on the show? Not Jeremy Allen White, but the other son. I can't remember his name.
The kid from the Star Wars games?
No. The other kid.
I only watched a little bit of Shameless, so I didn't watch like you did.
Oh, I can't remember his name, but he's great in that. But he's in this as well. He plays one of the brother, and Eminem. They showed his cameo in the trailer. He kind of looks like the guy who did the "You Suck, Yeah, Jackass," and of course he actually calls him a jackass in the trailer. So, we kind of figure he's going to be something. It looks like he's going to be a heckler. So, also announced this week, I wanted to mention it when we talk about this, is Subway coming out with Happy Gilmore meals and coming out with official souvenir cups, which I need to have all 4 of those in my possession by the end of the summer. Collectible cups with all the characters, Shooter, Happy, Hal H, played by Ben Stiller, and Oscar, who's played by what's his name, the Mexican singer who's a wrestler there.
It's really it's not gonna be the same without Chubbs, though.
Yeah, rest in peace, Chubbs. And Chubbs' son is in there too. It's gonna be crazy. And the big thing that ended the whole night was Stranger Things season 5, the finale, coming out Thanksgiving. Second half coming out in Christmas, and the finale airing on New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Three nights you gotta put on your calendar for the end of the year. The trailer looked great. Showed some glimpses of the series going forward. Oh yeah, I forgot the show ended on Wednesday, which I'm gonna get into next. Because what's his name?
Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Osment was menacing in this scene, torturing Wednesday. Looked really, really cool. I like the first season a lot, so I'm kind of excited for this too. It comes out in 2 parts. First part's August 6th, second part's in September 3rd. So Netflix is continuing that model for a lot of their shows. So with that being said, let's get into some trailer roundup. Got some new trailers for Megan 2.0. This is just an extended version of what we already saw before. Looks good. Got a new trailer for Heads of State. This is John Cena, Idris Elba. John Cena is playing the president. Idris Elba is playing the prime minister of the UK, and they end up crashing, and they have to find their way out of a wilderness, and they're getting chased by assassins. John Cena was a movie star turned president, so he thinks he's an action hero in this movie. I cannot wait to see this. Comes out on Prime on July 2nd. Yeah, it looks really good. Jack Quaid's in this as well. He looks funny as fuck. So, I think yesterday they got a brand new trailer for Alien Earth. I love that poster with the face hugger on Earth.
Didn't the other show there come out on Hulu today?
Yes, it did.
Predator. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna watch it. I haven't watched it. I wanted to wait. So
I
much to talk about this week. So, I'm gonna watch it tonight. It's an hour and 20 minutes, so it's an
animated movie.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep, animated movie. Wicked. For Good. We got the final trailer for that, or the first trailer first trailer for that. Wicked for
Seems
Good.
like it's very early to release a trailer for a movie coming out in November, but I think they're just trying to keep the momentum going from the first movie.
It's Memorial. It's close to this time of year. Big blockbuster season. It's gonna be playing everywhere. So
they'll be playing getting Superman and everything else. Yeah.
Yep. Getting out there in the world looked good. Cannot wait to see the continuation and the finale of this. So. Weekend box office last week, Lilo and Stitch won in the second weekend with $863 million. Mission Impossible 27.3, and Karate Kid, the new Karate Kid movie, 21 million. I've been hearing kind of mixed things about that. I don't know if you've heard anything about the Karate Kid movie.
I don't want to see it, but I have a sweet bandana because I stole one from the movie the other night.
Oh yeah, they were giving out bandanas.
I will be wearing
I did
that
not take
while
one.
I cook. Yeah, I don't know why you didn't take one. I should have worn it right now. I should be wearing it right now while we pod.
Yeah, you should have. I don't know why. Donald Trump. We don't like getting political, but there's a few things we got to talk about. This is one of them because it involves P. Diddy.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Trump does not rule out giving a pardon to Diddy if convicted of sex trafficking.
Well, you got to stick together.
Yep, y'all all going to stick together. And it's been let's just say it's been a whirlwind on Twitter in the last couple of days with Elon Musk and Trump falling out.
Oh, my God. And all the amount of fake tweets being put out is just been hilarious. I think I sent you the implication one. That was incredible.
And all the memes are just as great as you would expect them to be.
Yep.
So, yeah. Where are we? We're over here now. And The Boys taking on, of course, everything going on. Social media has made a parody of The Boys social media made a parody of Elon Musk stepping back from the U.S. government. Mm-hmm. And it's The Deep.
Yes.
The Deep. Deep's time at Dope, as what they're calling their version of Doge, calls it a swimming success. And this came out before the big falling out of Trump and Elon. So, yeah, it's just great to see. And then they also had a viral poster for Vaught on Ice, which I thought was funny. Dated for this weekend, so I'm not sure if we're going to get a trailer or any reveals for the show or not, but dated for this weekend, so we'll see. Blumhouse, I don't get your opinion on this, has acquired the rights to Saw. Lionsgate still being involved as a partner, and it's going to all be backed by James Wan. Your thoughts?
I mean, I don't think much will change as far as the movies or the quality goes. I don't know. I'm kind of in and out on Blumhouse sometimes. Okay. I just want another Saw movie, man. They canceled Saw 11, so hopefully they put that back on track. Cause
That's right.
that dude's like
I like
84 years old, so they got to fucking let's go. They're on a timer.
And with Superman coming out, Fantastic Four coming out, going to be a big month and a half here of movie business for the movie theaters. So they're taking advantage of it, not only with new popcorn buckets, which we'll get into some of those in a few, but they're going to be implementing more ads and commercials before films.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was waiting for it. Yeah, this is ridiculous because it's already 30 minutes at Regal. Maybe this is AMC, so maybe Regal already has done that.
Typically, if I'm not going with you, if I'm going alone, I usually just show up 15 minutes late. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's yeah. If I could pay premium, I don't know if I would, but if I could pay a premium to not go through those ads, I would.
I think it's Cinemark only does 3 ads. That's like their rule, 3 ads. They'll also kick you out of the theater if you're on your cell phone at all.
Wow.
And they like have somebody come up before each show saying, now it's time to put away your cell phone, put it on silent, blah, blah, blah. You can be ejected. So, yeah, Cinemark has the deal going right now. Cinemark's the way to go.
Ariana Grande has been cast as in Meet the Parents 4. All the original cast returning.
Why is this being made? Why is this a
comes
thing?
Out November 25th of
first
2026.
I love the first 2. I can't remember if I saw a third one. What's the third one? Little Fockers?
Little Fockers, yeah.
First 2 are fucking classics, honestly. Like, if I were to do a top 25 comedy list, they'd both be on there.
The first one, at least, for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Netflix has a new comedy action movie coming out with Andy Samberg and Jason Momoa. Wanted to mention that. Also wanted to mention a new movie coming on Amazon. Andrew Garfield, Monica Barbaro, and from Nora, Yura Borisov, who played Igor in that movie, who's great. Yep. It's going to be called all about artificial intelligence. It's kind of a drama. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. A new documentary. I want to bring this up because I know you love Jaws. I know the 50th anniversary is coming out. Coming out on June 10th. Jaws at 50. It's a documentary going to be on Disney Plus, Hulu, done by National Geographic. Wow. And it's going to have a whole bunch of interviews with Steven Spielberg, the original cast, interviews with stars, directors, and everybody who loves the Jaws franchise like you do. It's going to be an inside story of everything about Jaws, the creation, the making, and why Steven Spielberg made a movie like this. Was this his first movie? No.
Jaws? Yeah, he had. This is like his 4th movie, I think.
Okay. Yeah, he had Close Encounters.
He had a student film. He had Close Encounters. Yeah, he had a few movies before this.
But yeah, it's definitely a documentary we're probably going to watch for the podcast. It comes out July 10th.
And it's going to be on Hulu and Disney, and they always do a good job.
Yep, they do. Simon Pegg says he's going to start work on the new film with Edgar Wright soon, with him and Nick Frost. Of course, they did the 3 movies before. So, yeah, I cannot wait for that. Surprisingly absent from the Netflix Tadum was the one thing I was looking forward to was Sandman. Not mentioned once the whole entire hour.
They're going to bury that. They're going to bury that show because of Neil Gaiman. They're like in the for you. It's probably not even going to be on the front page. Honestly, when it drops, you'll probably have to search for it.
And a lot of people loved it, but yeah, they're just going to bury it because of everything going on with Neil Gaiman. But they did reveal 2 days later that there's going to be 12 episodes, releasing in 3 volumes as well. First volume coming out July 3rd, just a few weeks. Second volume coming out July 24th. And the final bonus episode, which is kind of like a bonus movie, is going to be coming out on July 31st. So all the month of July is going to be the finale of Sandman, which is a great first season. And this will be a hopefully great second season, continuing that story. So I cannot wait. Ryan Coogler confirmed that there's no plans for a Sinners sequel. He made that movie to be alone.
Yes.
He was kind of sick of doing the franchise films, is what he said. And he just wanted a film that could stand on its own and have its full time by itself. And that's kind of what the image of it was in the beginning.
Yep.
I like that idea, but I think I could also see a sequel to that too.
I could see Warner Brothers just going over his head because he definitely doesn't own it. So I could see them doing that. But I honestly don't think Michael B. Jordan would sign up without Coogler, and that would be a problem. No matter how much money they threw at him, I really don't see him ever doing a sequel without Coogler being involved somehow. So it's a dumb idea to do a sequel to that movie. That movie is absolutely fucking perfect. I've watched it 3 times this week.
Awesome. King of the Hill. Big fan of it. When you watch it a lot growing up.
Oh yeah, that was my jam. I know you didn't, right? Yeah, this is my
never
jam.
seen an episode. Never saw an episode. That and Futurama. Never saw an episode.
What?
Either one.
That's like Dusty's favorite show.
They're bringing back King of the Hill, a revival series coming back on August 4th on Hulu. And I know the kids all grown up. They had a little trailer show this week. So yeah. Killers of Killers, Predator just came out today on Hulu. We got some new posters. We got all the stories going on in this movie of all of the timelines that the Predator is going to be attacking. I cannot wait. This is getting like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I cannot wait to watch this when we get off of here. Ridley Scott, speaking of Predator, talking about the Alien franchise, saying that he has really no interest in being a part of it anymore. He sees where the franchise is going, and he's just done enough, and he hopes it goes further. But he's kind of stepped back from the whole thing, letting Disney and then tackle what's going on. So, got a brand new poster for Jurassic World Rebirth. That's the name of it. Comes out in just a few weeks, July 3rd. I'm not sure if we're going to see it. I had such a bad taste in my mouth from that last one.
The last two, really. This one looks way better. But
it does.
It's, me and my schedule in July, it's going to be tough for me to get out there.
Right.
I'm hoping to see Fantastic Four. We'll see about that, though. I'll probably be able to get to a show on that Friday, but I don't know if I'll go Thursday.
Yeah, we can do Friday. That's fun. 28 years later, got new character posters for that as well. That comes out the end of the month. I got to catch up on that whole franchise,
Yes,
too.
you do.
And David Fincher's sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood has cast 2 people, Scott Conn, son of James Conn, and Elizabeth Debicki, who was in Guardians of the Galaxy. She played the Gold Girl. I believe I have pictures of them. I do. Scott Conn, of course, one of his most popular thing he was in is Entourage.
And Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble. Yeah, he was in that too. Have you watched Tulsa King?
Negative. That's also on my list. I have my list.
A lot of people say it's great.
Growing. Yes.
A lot of people say it's great. It's kind of a mobster. Sly Stallone playing a mobster going into Tulsa. I think retired mobster. I don't know really what's going on. I guess Samuel L. Jackson's in the second season. They're going to be doing a spinoff of Samuel L. Jackson called, I can't remember what it's called, but I remember it did have a name. But casting for a Kiss movie, which I had no idea they were making, playing Paul Stanley in a movie called Shout It Out Loud, is pop star Nick Jonas of the Jonas Brothers. This is going to be directed by Mick G. Did a lot of television back in the day.
Yep.
It's going to come out sometime in early 2026, or production early 2026. So, a new documentary debuted. I believe it was overseas somewhere, South by Southwest London. Stands, produced by Eminem, Shady Records, all about the fandom of him, pretty much, and all the stands and everything. The whole saying coming from him, from the song, of course, and everybody's saying it's great. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah.
Tom Felton, who played Draco in Harry Potter, coming into Broadway to play the character again in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Going to be there for 19 or 14 weeks from starting in November. Going to be there till March, and it'll be exciting for people who love Harry Potter and not seen the show. I don't know if you've heard this story or not. I wanted to bring it up on the podcast, but they're looking for Marty McFly's guitar. This was lost. This is the guitar that he plays in the first movie at the very end at the champion under the seats. Yep.
He creates rock and roll.
He creates rock
retroactively.
Hey, Chuck, this is Marvin Berry.
That's a great movie.
But the guitar, he played it. It got sent. It was loaned to them. They don't know where they lost the paper trail for it. They don't know if it was sold. They don't know if it was stolen. They have no idea. So they put out this APB pretty much, trying to find it. They're making a documentary about it as well. And they're asking fans to help to try to find it and any any news on where it could be, to let them know. And they are filming a documentary. They're gonna have all the cast from the movie. They're gonna have all the background people and all the people who own the guitar, trying to figure out where the hell this guitar went. Is it a private collector, and was it stolen in a private collection? Who knows? So
I guess this is a new way to do a new documentary on Back to the Future, because they've pretty much covered everything else to ad nauseum. So this is another way to do a documentary about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they did a DeLorean documentary, and this is like the next best thing.
Multiple making ofs and like look backs on and shit like that. Yeah.
Because they'll never get a new movie. They are dead set against that.
Thank God.
This is the next best.
I'm dead set against that.
I don't know. I'm not completely dead set against it. There's a lot. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time in history. So, The War Between the Land and Sea is the spinoff of Doctor Who, coming out sometime soon. I played a trailer of it right before the finale of Doctor Who and the unannounced regeneration of the new Doctor, the Black Doctor, into a character that was in the David Tennant series. Rose was regenerated from the Doctor this time. Not sure what this is going to lead to, but I loved Rose. I love David Tennant's season, so bringing Rose back as a Doctor is an interesting choice, especially where there is a David Tennant Doctor somewhere out in the universe. So I'd love to see their interaction. And if you know Doctor Who, you know they kind of had a scene towards the end of David Tennant's time where they could not see each other anymore, because if they did, the universe would explode. So interesting to see what happens there. They didn't give that Doctor too much. The internet went crazy on him, and pretty much the minute he became a Doctor, they destroyed the series and him and everything.
Yep, so that's what I heard from people, mostly you.
For me, yeah, it was okay. It wasn't bad. I liked him. He wasn't bad, but it's everybody kind of.
I didn't hear you complaining about it, but I heard about the complaints through you. Is what I meant to say.
In talks for the Street Fighter movie, Walter Goggins to play M. Bison, played by Raul Julia back in the 90s. Perfect casting. I love it.
I mean, I would watch Walton Goggins and anything, so I think this would be perfect.
Sony had their state of play.
They did.
They announced a few things. The big thing we're going to talk about is First Light.
Outside of the James Bond model, I am excited for this game. It is done by the people behind Hitman, which is an incredible game series.
Playing Bond, Patrick Gibson.
That's why he looks familiar. Okay, makes sense then.
Doing the mocap, doing the likeness and everything. He's the next Bond, at least for the video games. Patrick Gibson has already done it. They showed a trailer at the State of Play, and it looks awesome. A new Marvel fighting game, not Marvel vs. Capcom, but Token Fighting Souls. Marvel Token Fighting Souls looks very much reminiscent of Marvel Capcom, but it doesn't have Capcom this time. Mm-hmm. It's Marvel Heroes, so look really, really cool. Mortal Kombat, I know it was a couple years ago they came out with the Ninja Turtles collection. They had all the Ninja Turtles arcade games and everything. Well, they're doing it for Mortal Kombat too. A whole bunch of games called the Legacy Collection. Comes out with Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, 4, all the arcade versions
as well. I played the new ones. They're kind of fun, but I am absolute trash compared to how I was back in the day.
Yeah, the old ones are great. The old ones are perfect. It's awesome. Not yet. Star Destroyer, starting May 29th on Fortnite. You can go into a portal in Fortnite. It'll send you into a Star Destroyer, and you can just shoot people down on the ground from the Star Destroyer. It's kind of like one of those premium weapons you can get. It comes out May 29th on Fortnite, which I'm not really into, but I did want to bring that up because it looked kind of cool when I saw the trailer. Hunter Schafer, I think we talked about it not too long ago. Reportedly being eyed as Princess Zelda in the live-action Zelda film. I'm all for it. I think she's great in Euphoria.
Yep. It's gotten a lot of blowback because the internet does what the internet does. But honestly, it's perfect.
She looks just like her.
Yeah.
It would be perfect.
Yep.
It very much. Anybody who's, I don't even want to get into it because it's just such a touchy subject.
People are assholes. That's all we'll say.
Yeah, people are assholes. It's Twitter. So Dogma in cans this week. Kevin Smith brought it back to cans after almost 30 years. And bringing it canned, it inspired him to make a cans-worthy sequel to Dogma. He's been talking about that a lot, making Dogma 2. We'll have to wait and see if that actually happens. But between Four Popes, His near-death experience, Kevin Smith has never felt more inspired to revisit Dogma. So that was the article on Variety. Debuting at TIFF 50 in September, rumored to come out on Prime in October, is this John Candy documentary, which is directed by Colin Hanks, produced by Ryan Reynolds. John Candy, I Like Me, which is a line from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I cannot wait for this. This is my most anticipated documentary of the year. I love John Candy, and I think they're gonna handle this with kid gloves. So it'd be great to see a lot of it coming out from SCTV, and of course all of his movies and his rise to fame. So I cannot wait. Mickey Madsen, the rumors were that she turned down the villain role for the Star Wars Starfighter over a pay dispute. Announced today, Maya Goth has joined Ryan Gosling in Starfighter as a villain in Sean Levy's film.
Love it. Love this casting.
They souped up one Hollywood darling into the next, and Maya Goth is going to be in that movie. I cannot wait to see them together, so that'd be awesome. We got some new movie merchandise. We got some new cups. We got this popcorn bucket with Superman that lights up. Okay. And we got some weird shit. This is the stuff I want to talk about. I don't know where these are. The cups are really cool. The one on the top right there lights up. Superman symbol. The one on the bottom left, the cup, has a cape on it. They have a regular standard bucket on the bottom right, but the one on the top left, it's a popcorn machine with Superman's laser beating through it, breaking the glass, and there's popcorn. I don't know where these are, but they definitely have them. You can buy them. But the one that was announced today, coming out as a Canada exclusive, was awesome.
Yeah,
that looks cool. A Daily Planet newspaper kiosk, which they don't really have anymore because newspapers are ridiculously priced. It used to be 25 cents. But yeah, this looks awesome with the popcorn in there. It's got Superman on the front of the cover. It looks awesome. Just a few more weeks, we'll see these in theater. And let's get into some swag.
Swag. Stuff we all get.
Come on, son. You know that's right.
We got some great pop figures. The Back to the Future 2 hoverboard chase scene in pop figure 4 with all 5 figures looks awesome.
I'm going to be buying that.
Yeah, that's going to take up a lot of wall space. I want it, but yeah.
That'll go next to the, I have the Clock Tower one, which is awesome with Doc and Marty.
Oh, that's awesome too, yeah. We got some Beetlejuice figures. So we had the first time Casper, the movie from 1995, 1996, with Devon Sawa as Casper. So yeah. And some new Ghostbusters figures from Ghostbusters 2, the very first time Vigo, and of course the Ghostbusters with their slime proton packs. So yeah. This is a slideshow Hot Toys figure that you may want to have on your shelf. Daniel Craig's 007. All the weapons, accessories. This is from the last movie, No Time to Die. So yeah, Daniel Craig, awesome. I want to bring up this pop figure too before we get into it. I need this black suit Superman on the right there. It's part
That's
of my
a dope
collection.
one, yep.
I need that. This is I believe Iron Studios figure, XM Studios of Superman and Krypto. Looks very, very cool. They announced that this week. Todd McFarlane figure of a battle damaged Superman. Looks cool. Another Hot Toys figure. They're gonna milk this fucking movie with Deadpool and Wolverine until the very last breath. But the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine with Wolverine missing an arm. By the way, how the fuck is Wolverine missing an arm if he can regenerate? Never understood that in the 90s. I guess it's just cool to have a metal arm at the end of his stub. But and I believe this might have been Iron Studios as well. They announced a brand new diorama set of the Fantastic Four with Reed. We got Reed there with Herbie. We got the Thing and the Human Torch, and we also got Sue Storm protecting Franklin Richards. We'll get into that in a minute. And the symbol on the bottom of the statue is one of the symbols given to them. It's kind of like a memorial of a battle that happened when they were saving the Earth from mole men. And that monster coming out of the ground is right from the very first Fantastic Four comic book. It's the same exact picture in the memorial there. So want to bring that up. And then Empire came out with a new magazine. I think we talked about the cover last week. We got some new pictures from that. And the articles, Vanessa Kirby says that Franklin Richards is not the only. She said the adults are not the only ones that have superpowers. So when she goes into space, obviously going to be pregnant. Franklin Richards is going to get the same race that made them have powers. And of course, if you know comic books, he's so super overpowered. It's not even funny. Ibn Masbakarak talking about Ben Grimm. His primary reason for being the character was seeing how Jack Kirby influenced the character, paying homage to his father, and he liked that. It's very meaningful to him, and that's why he kind of signed on to the role. Also, Matt Shakman confirmed that there's not any Doctor Doom in the movie, and people are saying you're lying. So we'll see about that. Kevin Feige asked about the spaceship at the end of the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. Says the Fantastic Four ship is the Excelsior, and there is a Fantastic Four entering the MCU, but I'm not sure it's the same ship. So speculation rising what that could be. Who knows? Speaking of Fantastic Four, tickets went on sale this week. Got some brand new cool retro posters, and we got some new theater exclusive posters for IMAX, Dolby, Real 3D. Fandango looks great. I love the retro look of all these posters. And then we get all the popcorn buckets galore. We got Herbie with a popcorn bucket / drink container. We got the Fantastic Car, which if you're in a movie theater holding this shit, how the fuck are you watching a movie? But the big thing is this 18-inch Galactus popcorn bucket, which is awesome. But again, if I was in a movie theater and that person had this in front of them, how are they watching the movie with this in their lap? But yeah, very limited. I think it's going on sale for $80 online. You can purchase it beforehand. AMC theaters. I think Real is going to sell them too. But yeah. Also coming out with some character cups, character popcorn tins with Funko Pops on them. And they also released a trailer when the tickets went on sale the very first time, seeing them finding out that she's pregnant, looking over her crib, and for the very first time seeing a live action version of Franklin Richards. Also seeing Sue Storm. They're not hiding it anymore. She's pregnant, so they're not hiding the baby belly anymore in this trailer. Showed Ben Grimm flying the Fantastic Car, showed Ben and Human Torch in space giving a fist bump to each other. And then these were released after the trailer, but some more action shots of Reed working on Herbie, Reed and Sue in the snowstorm holding the baby carriage. And they're very cool. It's going to be in the movie somewhere, but in front of the Baxter building, this really cool statue of all the Fantastic Four. It looks really cool. And the tickets caused all the theater sites to crash. And they sold more tickets on the first day than any film this year, which is not saying a lot, but Emily Hampshire, if you've ever seen Schitt's Creek, she is one of the stars of that, has been cast as the live version of Edith in the Vision Quest series. She was in Schitt's Creek. Edith is the pair of glasses that Spider-Man wears. That has all the Tony Stark tech in it, and I believe the second film. So yeah, second Spider-Man film. I'm not sure if this is real or not, bringing it up in case it is, but Dr. Doom on set. I don't know if that's real or not. Probably not, but if it is, it's comic accurate. But speaking of Marvel, no panel at Hall H, San Diego Comic-Con.
Interesting.
Marvel is skipping it this year. Probably after moving all the movies whole entire almost 7-8 months.
Yeah, they really got nothing to talk about at this point. Like, what are they going to say?
Talk about their production.
What are they going to say? Blade's back on?
Right. Yeah. So skipping that, but DC will be there. They're going to have some presence there. I think they're going to preview the movie because it opens that weekend for Fantastic Four. So
yeah.
And Warner Brothers, I want to talk about this before we get into the end of the show, but Warner Brothers denies reports it wanted Michael Bay to direct the Superman movie starring Henry Cavill. This is a big story last week. I don't think we brought it up on the show, but there was a rumor that Michael Bay was going to be directing the second Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I think the one we talked about was not Michael Bay, but it was
the Mission
McQuarrie.
Impossible director. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this was debunked by Warner Brothers, I guess. But Mike Flanagan, who's doing the Clayface movie, said he's inspired by the Feet of Clay episodes in Batman the Animated Series. I mean, that was just great. It's two-parter episode. Said it knocked him out. The short answer is that it's absolutely is what inspired my script. So that's awesome. So yeah, I cannot wait to see that. Joining the cast of HBO's Lanterns, Laura Linney from Ozark. Who's been in a whole bunch of other stuff too, but she's joined the cast of Lanterns. And this week, in the last few days, we got some character posters for Superman. First, we got the heroes, all of the heroes: Superman, Krypto.
I think my
Robot
favorite
number 4.
is Metamorpho. I think that's my favorite. He looks dope. But yeah,
Mr. Terrific. Yeah, we got all the villains. Metamorpho does look really, really cool. Lex Luthor, Tessmacher, the Engineer, Rick Flag, and then we get all the Daily Planet people working there: Lois, Clark, Jimmy, Steve, Kat, and of course Perry White. So look really, really cool. Love those posters. And we got some new billboards showing up everywhere. This is another one. I know there's some standees of Superman holding up the Superman S2. Asked about an animated spin-off series of Krypto. James Gunn said, yeah, that's definitely in the works. I thought I had it here, but I don't. Official runtime of Superman, 2 hours and 9 minutes. Rumors of the official runtime for Fantastic Four right around there too. So yeah, we're back to the 2-hour movie mark.
Thank God. That's what people were freaking out, but that's the exact same time as Guardians of the Galaxy also. So
yep. Michael Rosenbaum confirms he voiced something in Superman. Friends with James Gunn, of course. But yeah, we're guessing it's a robot. Who knows? Could be anybody in that movie. But we got a brand new picture of Nicholas Hoult as of Lex Luthor in a Empire exclusive magazine article. Said he drew his inspiration from Gene Hackman and Michael Rosenbaum. And we got 2 new glimpses of the movie in very quick, like 4-second increments. This is Superman interacting with robot number 4, played by Alan Tudyk. And the robot says, "Superman, you must rest." And Superman kind of brushes him off, says, "No, can't do 4. I got to get back to the fray." It's just awesome. I love that scene. Very quick, 3 seconds. The best one was Lex and Guy Gardner having a scene together.
Yep.
And she says, "The haircut should be against your vows." And Guy Gardner says to her, "That what should be what?" Great scene. I probably watched that 7 times.
I'll say this: reading the book, there's a certain part of the fan base that is going to absolutely shit on everything Guy Gardner does. And it's going to be awesome because he is so much like Guy Gardner from the comics, at least written in the book. So I assume it's like that in the movie too. I really can't wait.
And finally in news, we just wrapped the final visual effects shot yesterday for Superman.
It's locked.
Now 100% locked, done. And James Gunn posted on Instagram saying, "Hell yeah, we're done. We're ready. Let's do this." So July 11th cannot come here soon enough. Here we go. Thank you, everybody. That's it for news. That's it for our show this week. Next week, we'll talk about Murderbot episode 6. We'll talk about, I already watched Ballerina. Life of Chuck came out today. Predator Killers of Killers. That's going to be our big review next week. On the 11th, just in like 5 days, the Titan Submersible documentary on Netflix is going to be out. Kind of want to watch that. On Monday, the Worldwide Developer Conference at Apple is going to be happening, talking about all the software. We'll talk a little bit about that. The Year of Superman next week is Superman Returns from 2006, when Superman returns to the film world.
Oh, boy.
And also next week, we're going to watch The Rise of the Silver Surfer. Just because we got a lot of Superman stuff to talk about at the end of the month, I want to get it out of the way. We'll talk about The Rise of the Silver Surfer next week and Superman Returns. Thank you, everyone. And we will talk to you next week.
Deuces.
We're the Geek Blurb crew, here to enlighten you. Talking all things geeky, from movies to wrestling to our podcast is the place where you want to be for all the latest news and nostalgia from the 80s and 90s. We review comic book flicks and sci-fi hits, riding the wave of action movies with all the cool bits. From Iron Man to Star Wars, we cover it all. And when it comes to wrestling, we never drop the ball. Geek Blurb, we're the kings of the nerds, rating movies and pineapples, our opinions never blurred. Join us each week for a geeky chat with the latest news and a dose of nostalgia that. So if you're a fan of the comic book craze, or a lover of sci-fi and all its maze, tune in to Geek Blurb, we're here to entertain.